Cronkite news, a huge upset in Arizona high school basketball playoffs going into the championship.
Plus, a new food menu is knocking fans' taste buds out of the park at spring training.
And Kristi Noem is ousted from her position as DHS secretary. Find out why and what we know about her replacement. Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News. I'm Grace Johnson.
And I'm Jacob Brooks. Thank you all for joining us.
ASU women's basketball narrowly escaped their first round matchup against Arizona in the Big 12 tournament. And they face Iowa State today as they try to keep their March Madness hopes alive. The Sun Devils are led by senior guard Gabby Elliott, who has been a steady force on the team and is among top 11 scorers in the conference. Elliott says head coach Molly Miller preaches defense first and appreciates the confidence her coach has in her, even when her shots aren't falling.
It's not really about making shots. I cannot make a shot and still have a great game off assists or just being a presence, especially with the role that I play. But that's this type of stuff that I love about this environment. It's not about making shots. It's about, being a reliable person. And then as long as my coach got the confidence to go to me, I got to have the confidence to shoot the ball.
Keeping with college basketball, Jacob, the Big 12 women's tournament debuted new court technology.
Yeah, Grace, and more than anything, some fans are not particularly thrilled with this new change. The women's basketball tournament tipped off at T-Mobile Center in Kansas City yesterday, and with it, a brand new LED glass floor. The new tech will display designs, shot charts, and animations, all while the players are still playing on the court. But its debut wasn't overly well received. The new design seems to be quite polarizing for some fans who actually took to social media to complain about this new look.
Well, high school basketball is shaking things up in the Valley recently.
Absolutely, Grace. There was a massive upset in the Open Division state semifinals, as well as some controversy on the fairness of one team that's actually playing for a state title today.
Our Emma Wakefield joins us now to walk us through this crazy high school basketball postseason. Emma, where do we even begin?
Yeah, well, we'll start with the Coolidge boys basketball team, who plays in the 3A state title today. The team was recently suspended by the AAA when their fans were accused of racial taunting and intimidation in a game against Chinle. The AAA put the entire Coolidge athletic department on probation. The school appealed, lost, and then a judge issued a temporary order allowing the boys team to continue playing. So some controversy if they win the title today. Now in the Open Division, history was made last night on the court as St. Mary's upset national number 6 Millennium in a buzzer-beating three-pointer. The hero, junior point guard Mick Reardon. Millennium was ahead 64-63 with 5 seconds left. St. Mary's ran out of timeouts and had to make a call from the bench. Reardon was left wide open and knew just what to do. This triumph from the Knights marks the first ever 4A team to qualify for the Open Division Championship.
We knew Millennium would come out. It'd be a slugfest. It's a heavyweight fight, and we knew they'd make their runs, and boy, did they make a run. I got to tell you, even as a fan, I was watching it a little bit like, dang, look how quick they get up and down the floor. So we were expecting that. We bent a little bit. We didn't break. We held our composure, and we came back and made the plays when we needed to.
The state championship game will be held at Veterans Memorial Coliseum at 8 o'clock on Saturday night.
Yeah, Emma, that was a wild scene, but there was also an upset in the girls' playoffs. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so O'Connor took down top-seeded Perry to advance to the Open Division title game. They will take on Millennium on Saturday.
Thanks so much, Emma. Should be a fun weekend of basketball ahead. Moving back to college hoops, ASU men's basketball wraps up the regular season this weekend with a trip to Iowa State. Fresh off their court-storming upset victory over Kansas on Tuesday, the Sun Devils have one last chance to show the college basketball world they can ball with the best. Our Niall Rosenberg has more on one of the team's biggest leaders.
A guard from the Bronx who is finally getting his chance to shine on a big stage. Following his transfer from Pepperdine to ASU, Moe Odom is living out his dreams. But what means more to the senior is his impression not on the court, but off of it.
I want to be remembered not as a player, but as a person, somebody who came here every day, was willing to work, willing to be a leader on good days and bad days, my character. I want people to say good things about my character.
14 newcomers needed someone to take the lead, and Odom has done just that. He leads all Sun Devils in points, assists, and steals. He is the go-to man late in the fourth, but he isn't selfish in the biggest moments.
Mo is a guy I want to have the ball like almost all the time down the stretch. Mo said no, let Noah work in some ball screens. You know, that's real leadership to me by Mo.
The senior spark is what leads this team. His voice is a consistent noise heard throughout the arena night in and night out. Whether it's 30-point games or commanding his teammates, one thing is for sure. Moe Odom connects this group as a whole.
Everybody's looking at Mo the last couple of minutes. He's our point guard. He's the leader of the group. So we trust him. Everybody trusts him. So we just look at him, and he's going to make the right play every time.
Odom's final year of college basketball saw him bring together a group of players from all backgrounds. In what was a turbulent year for the Sun Devils, Odom was the pilot of all the great memories they provided. In Tempe, Niall Rosenberg, Cronkite News.
Odom will play his final regular season game in the maroon and gold Saturday against number 6 ranked Iowa State.
In more somber news, legendary college football coach Lou Holtz has died at age 89. He was known for rebuilding struggling teams throughout college football. Holtz coached 33 seasons at 6 different schools, including NC State, William & Mary, and Arkansas, but he was most well known for his time at Notre Dame, where he was the last coach to lead the Fighting Irish to a national championship in 1988. Holtz also spent 1 year in the NFL with the New York Jets, and then retired from coaching overall in 2004. Holtz received a Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2020 for his notable accomplishments as a football coach, as well as a philanthropist and author.
Coming up next, the Team USA concluded its exhibition games in Arizona yesterday with a final game against the Colorado Rockies.
Very, very honored to be here. We got the game's best here representing USA.
We have more on the talent-packed Team USA roster coming up on Cronkite News.
Plus, find out how much sunscreen to bring to that spring training game this weekend and when you can expect some pre-spring showers coming up next from the Weather Center. Welcome back. Just a few days ago, Arizona Cardinals quarterback Kyler Murray was informed that he was going to be released from the team.
That's right, Grace. And all the talk is now about which NFL team Murray will end up playing quarterback for in the upcoming season, although a whole new team has entered the discussion out of left field, the Athletics in Major League Baseball.
Murray was signed as a first-round draft pick in the 2018 MLB draft to the former Oakland Athletics, before choosing to declare for the NFL draft in 2019. Now, Athletics general manager David Forst is reopening that baseball door, saying that Murray and his representatives know that if he ever wants to return to baseball, the A's are always open. Team USA wrapped up its exhibition games yesterday in Arizona.
Right on time for pool play for the World Baseball Classic, which begins tomorrow. All the stars were out at Salt River Fields in front of a sold-out crowd donning the red, white, and blue, including Olympic great Michael Phelps, who actually spoke at the baseball team's dinner on Monday. On an even more patriotic note, Team USA houses 2 Air Force Academy alumni, one in Cy Young Award winner Paul Skeens, and another in Arizona native Griffin Jax. Jax was actually the first Air Force graduate to make it to the MLB and is proud to once again be representing his country, this time on the diamond.
Very, very honored to be here. We got the game's best here representing USA. So just for me to get a chance to take it all in and learn from some of the greats. So we got some no doubt Hall of Famers in the next couple ballots playing on this team. So there's a lot of baseball and history to be learned from these guys.
Jack still serves as a reserve captain in the Air Force, acting as a liaison and recruiter, all while still actively pitching for the Tampa Bay Rays. So pretty cool stuff, Grace.
Yeah, well, as fans soak in spring training, good baseball can feel like an ice cream sundae on a hot day, Jacob. And some of the tasty food at the ballpark is almost like a cherry on top.
That's right. Our Tyler Wargo made the trip to Sloan Park in Mesa, where flavor is served up in a variety of different ways.
The Cubs rolled out some special food and beverage items for this Cactus League season. Some of the fan favorites include the Sonoran Dog and Windy City Helmet Nachos.
Classic nacho with a little bit of the Chicago flair. We took crispy tortillas, shrimp, nacho cheese, Italian beef, and what goes with Italian beef? Jardiniere, pickled red onions, and sport peppers.
Chef Audrey Call, who grew up in Arizona, relies on her experience in tying Arizona cuisine with other cultures to create a variety of food options.
Growing up on a farm, growing every type of vegetable, every type of fruit, really allowed me to understand different cultures and what they eat. And then food is food. So that's part of the fun of it, is combining those two.
Now it's up to you as the fan to decide on what you want to get, whether that's a Hatch Green Chili Bison Burger, Windy City Nachos, or what I'm having, a Sonoran Ballpark Dog. It's up to you as a fan to decide.
So when you go there, it's grilled. It's a viral chicken shawarma sandwich. It was awesome. I'd recommend it to any Cubs fan, especially if you're like me, if you're from Chicago, and you come here to enjoy the nice sun, I would recommend it.
The combination between Chicago and Southwest cuisines being served at Sloan Park are supported through ingredients like tamales, giardiniera, and chili peppers, which creates interest not only for fans traveling from Chicago, but for local fans as well.
We really see a lot of the Southwest items evolve over the years. Chef Audrey has some great items and some unique inspiration that she took to build out this year's menu items. I'm looking forward to the Sonoran Dog to complement my Chicago Dog.
Good baseball and good food go hand in hand for spring training at Sloan Park. In Mesa, Tyler Wargo, Cronkite News.
Man, my stomach may be grumbling a little bit there, Jacob, but the Cubs spring training games go until March 31st.
Yeah, Grace, fans will have about a month to try out all those various food items from Chicago to Southwest cuisines and everything in between. It all looked great.
Well, it's shaping up to be a perfect weekend if you're headed to the ballpark to catch some Cactus League play.
Yeah, and to make sure you know what temperatures are going to look like out there on the diamond, our Matthew Pierce joins us from the Cronkite Weather Center with our official forecast.
Thank you, guys. As they mentioned, you might want to take a look at sunscreen later in the week as it progresses. But for now, let's go ahead and take a look at the evening planner for tonight. 75 at 6 p.m., but winds up at 18 miles an hour, so definitely something to monitor. But no worries at all. Come 10 p.m., we're going to see 66 and 10 miles an hour, so certainly drop-offs not only in the temperatures but also the wind. Which brings me to my lows for Friday. If we go and take a look up north, Window Rock, Grand Canyon, 19 degrees, 17 degrees, so it's going to be cold up north, but down south, we're looking at nice weather around 36, 33. Yuma all the way over at 54 degrees. So if you're in the southwestern region, you're enjoying some nice low temperatures, which brings me to the highs. Up north, 55, Grand Canyon 44. So you guys are going to see a nice jump from that 19-degree weather you're seeing at night, but certainly not going to heat up too much. Here in the valley, 73, Yuma 75. What a gorgeous time to get out and play some golf, play some anything outdoors. You're just loving the weather, right? And so that brings me to the 8-day forecast. If we take a look at Friday to Sunday, there's going to be a big jump here. So make sure you're prepared for this. 73 to 88 over the couple of days, but nothing prepares you as much for the rain on Monday. So make sure something you want to monitor is if we get rain on Monday, 76 degrees, and the big jump later next week where you're going to want the sunscreen is when we see 84 to 92 and then push all the way up to 95 on Friday. Certainly something to monitor as the week progresses. Lows not being too crazy. We're going to get up to 61, and that's it as the week progresses. But for now, I'm Matthew Pierce from the Weather Center.
Coming up next, it's one of the largest Native American communities in the U.S., and it's lacking updated critical infrastructure.
But Navajo Nation is getting a much-needed upgrade. Learn more about how healthcare is changing for the better as our Macy Markham has more on the medically underserved community coming up next.
As a teacher, you just want to reach people. You want to make a difference. You want to help them. I have an opportunity to do something I never imagined I would be able to do. Go out and build the best biology class the world has ever seen. When you go into Dreamscape Learn, you put on a set of goggles and you can go anywhere. You can be anyone and do anything. The thing about Arizona State University is they're always thinking about what's next. We can create virtual reality experiences so that you can learn by exploring in a virtual world the way that scientists explore in the real world. And kids can feel that. All these emotions are what help the brain encode information. When I see a student come out of VR, the look on their face is nothing like I've ever seen when I finish a lecture. They look so happy to be there. In that moment, you know that you've reached them.
Welcome to the Cronkite News Report. I'm Izzy Ledlow. Tonight's top story, President Trump fires his Homeland Security, Kristi Noem. This comes 2 days after Noem faced substantial criticism of her leadership of the department, including her handling of recent immigration crackdowns. Trump announced Republican Senator Mark Wayne Mullen of Oklahoma will take Noem's place.
Listen, I am super excited about this opportunity. It came at not a complete surprise, but it came at a little bit of surprise.
Mullen would need to be confirmed by the Senate, but the chamber is in a stalemate over DHS funding. As for Noem, she will be placed into a newly created position. Late today, she thanked President Trump on X. And federal immigration agents who Noem used to oversee executed search warrants at a North Phoenix apartment complex earlier this week. More than 20 people were detained. Cronkite News reporter Emily Fox-Millian spoke with an activist who recorded the arrest and a neighbor who lives just above the apartment.
On a row of apartments where every door is red, one now stands out. A white door, replacing the one federal agents broke down during a raid Monday night.
And that's why they're afraid.
Alma Mendoza is an activist here in Phoenix. She told me she documents incidents like this all the time. She walked up to this apartment complex where the first thing she saw was about 20 individuals lined up on this playground.
Tienen el derecho a presentarse delante de un juez.
Mendoza shared this video with Cronkite News, recording a brief encounter with a federal agent.
No, it's not. It's not.
All right. We're not trying to make a lot of noise in the neighborhood.
No.
And according to neighbors, the arrests were quiet.
I live pretty much right above here. So for me not to hear it is pretty crazy.
Monroe said he was surprised to hear how many people were taken into custody.
You can't fit 22 people in there. That's all I can say. Even pushing it would be 10.
We never thought there was 23 people inside that apartment.
In a statement to Cronkite News, Immigration and Customs Enforcement said agents executed 2 federal search warrants in the area, part of an ongoing human smuggling investigation. ICE said agents arrested 23 people, including 21 in that apartment. 3 face charges related to human smuggling. The other 20 are arrested on immigration violations. The operation comes as immigration enforcement and detention expands nationwide. ICE said recent federal funding will allow the agency to have an average daily population of 100,000 people in detention. For Mendoza, it's one of many scenes she said she's documented over the years.
I've been working with the community for 23 years, and somebody had to do the job. Somebody had to do and step for the community.
A few days later, a piece of that red door frame remains on the playground. A reminder, neighbors said, of the questions left unanswered. In Phoenix, Emily Fox-Millian, Cronkite News.
The manager of the apartment complex declined to comment for the story. Phoenix police said their officers were not involved. Meanwhile, Senate Democrats blocked a bill to fund the Department of Homeland Security today. Almost a month has passed since DHS shut down. TSA workers received a partial paycheck last week, but that's the last they will get until legislators reach a funding deal. One major travel industry leader is rallying for these workers as the partial shutdown continues.
You can't ask essential workers to protect America's skies while Washington argues over their paychecks.
Senate Democrats who blocked today's vote said they would not approve a new spending measure without curbs on immigration enforcement. The Navajo Nation is one of the largest Native American communities in the U.S., and according to state and federal regulators, it is categorized as a medically underserved community. But as our Macy Markham reports, things are changing for the better.
The landscape of the Navajo Nation is more than a pretty picture for the Dene.
There'll be structure over here. They're the first two houses that were built.
This land holds a powerful attraction.
We're taught to go get your education, but come home and help. Sorry, I get a little emotional there because it's hard. It's really, really hard. You have people that grow up here, that love it here, that want to come home and help, but you have so many hurdles.
Jerem Prowse is the facilities director for Sage Memorial Hospital. He understands the roads on this vast land that spans 3 states and 27,000 miles create connections and obstacles.
On the Navajo Nation, as you guys are aware, driving in here, it's far and few in between.
That's especially true when it comes to medical facilities. More than 150,000 residents rely on just 5 hospitals.
People that in this area that might need dialysis, they're having to travel at least 45 minutes in one direction or another to get the treatment they need.
To help fill those gaps, Sage Memorial Hospital is building a dialysis center just 2 years after opening a brand new hospital campus.
In the legacy clinic, we had maybe 14 rooms, 16 rooms. Some of those rooms did have to be used as office space. Sometimes we had to have 2 patients in a room. Yeah, sometimes up to 4 years ago.
This center served the needs of the Navajo in Ganado, Arizona for more than 100 years. But as the needs of the community grow, so does the need for better health care. And the cure to that isn't so easy to find. The original hospital, established in 1911, was the oldest tribally run facility in the country, and the path to better care is a rocky one.
Building on Navajo is complex, and so a lot of companies, whenever they see that the project is going to be on Navajo, they won't even bid on it. They would rather just go ahead and take the safe bet, and don't gamble and come up to on Navajo.
But some are willing to gamble. In fact, millions of dollars are being invested in advancing tribal health across the state, including another facility in Delkin, Arizona. And with that infrastructure often comes other incentives.
You can't build a hospital here in a rural area, at least on Navajo, without providing houses.
The hospital campus holds a 27-unit housing facility. It's a benefit that allows people like Jerem and McIntosh to work in their Navajo home.
It was always, I would come back here and work on Navajo. Yeah, this is my whole purpose, is just to serve Navajo.
Purpose that breeds determination, a common theme here on Navajo Nation despite the obstacles.
There's always opportunities for improvement, right? But you do the best you can with what you have. And I think just being able to provide that service, the healthcare services that relatives needed, is so important regardless of the location.
In Ganado, Macy Markham, Cronkite News.
With the help of additional money from the state, the dialysis center is scheduled to open in the fall. That's it for the news headlines. I'm Izzy Ledlow. Thank you for joining us. Now back to Grace and Jacob.
Thanks so much, Izzy. Coming up next, Jacob, we're taking a trip to Madison, Wisconsin.
That's right, Grace. We'll take a look at a couple of racing sausages who took over an elementary school. But it was all for a good cause. Stay tuned to find out more about this heartwarming and honestly hilarious story coming up next on Cronkite News.
Cronkite can be creative.
Welcome back. We're heading out to the Midwest for this story, where a Wisconsin teacher got the ultimate surprise from the Milwaukee Brewers.
That's right, Grace. The Brewers' famous Brigade of Racing Sausages took to Lincoln Elementary School in Madison earlier this week. Folks from the team joined the Sausages in honoring Jennifer Kilberg with the Brewers Grand Slam Teacher Award. Kilberg was nominated by one of her students for her commitment and dedication to teaching.
That's it for tonight's edition of Cronkite News. I'm Grace Johnson.
And I'm Jacob Brooks. Thank you all for joining us.
And to see top Arizona stories anytime, log on to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.